Hey, my name is STIX and welcome back to your weekly bite of MMORPG news, although I don't do it weekly anymore. I really should. You know what? In retrospect, I really should be. Starting from today, I think I'm going to be doing weekly or at the very least bi-weekly MMORPG news videos again, because no one in the genre really continues to keep everyone up to date with everything going on. And right now there are so many new MMOs on the horizon, whether they're PC MMOs, console PC, PC mobile, or just mobile. I mean, I would love to be that medium for you to bridge the gap between game and player like I used to be, and I miss this. So starting from today, you can expect these at least twice a month on this channel. If you haven't already, by the way, and you're at all interested, use Reddit. I have a STIX subreddit where we post everything related to gacha games and MMOs. We keep you all up to date with everything going on in the genre, and I react to trailers and news information revealed every single day I stream. But we have a lot to talk about, so let's just go ahead and jump right in. ArcheAge Chronicles, which is effectively ArcheAge 2, revealed some very interesting news pertaining to the game. On the one hand, they go on to state this is no longer going to be a traditional MMO. It is going to be a discovery-driven online action RPG with tighter combat, more focused pacing, and a world that's still shared and social, but not built for massive Zerg fights or dozens of overlapping systems. They also go on to state that the game is going to be much more intimate. It's going to feature much smaller group sizes, more meaningful cooperation, moments that feel special. So again, much smaller in scale, which means not really an MMO. They do currently have builds under an NDA that players are testing, and the game should theoretically be available at some point in 2026 after being delayed again for the 73rd time. Honor of Kings is a brand new MMO. I was flown out to Gamescom with Mrs. STIX, who captured this footage, and I got to play it. I know what you're seeing in the background right now is footage of a single boss fight, but that's because they didn't allow for us to capture all of the world exploration, all of the actual gameplay outside of this boss fight, because it was still, in production and under development. So they asked us to just use the footage that we had for me up on stage, where I got to invite another player up and do one of the boss fights on the hardest difficulty possible. Honestly, this was a ton of fun. This was an MMO that I was not expecting. I didn't even expect it to be an MMO really until they told me. I got to speak with the community manager, got to speak with the battle director. They both told me exactly how large scale the MMO world and MMO aspect was going to be, and I'm totally thrilled to hear everything that they said. I have a dedicated video evidently uploaded to the channel titled literally I played Honor of Kings World that I urge you to go ahead and check out if you want to learn more. Final Fantasy XIV is in some trouble. As of the last few months, they were at, I think like 4 months ago, they were at their lowest point in terms of active concurrent subscribers since Stormblood, which is 6 years or so by now. And then as of the last month, financial report of the Square Enix MMO division, Square Enix's first quarter 2025 financial report shows a sharp decline in particularly the MMO division, with Final Fantasy XIV year over year after the launch of Dawn Trail being down by 23% for gross sales and down 45% from operational profits. This is not at all good. They have seen a significant decline with Dawn Trail. On the one hand, World of Warcraft is up, and that's my favorite MMO, but on the other hand, they are dragging their balls through the dirt. They are doing terribly, and they need to do something, absolutely anything, to try and win back their players that just don't want to play the game anymore. Krafton, the developers of TERA, have announced that they're beginning development on TERA 2. Honestly, that was something I didn't expect. I have a dedicated video on that. I have a dedicated video on most of these topics if you're interested in more. TERA 2 is in its very earliest phase, which means it's probably still like 4, 5, 6 years away from being ready. There is currently a team of only 4 people working on it. It is going to remain an MMORPG, and it is going to have an action combat system that was pioneered by the original, but it's going to be a more up-to-date version of it. TERA was one of my first action MMOs, and I think was the first real like open-ish world action MMO to really take off in the West, outside of Korea specifically, and like to date is still one of the, I think has some of the best action combat in the genre. I can't believe they shut it down on PC when they did, and they've just released like mobile ports or mobile versions, iterations ever since, and they've all sucked. Before we go any further, I do want to take a moment here to thank all of my incredible patrons over on Patreon and my YouTube channel members who allow for me to continue to do dedicated videos like this every single day. You guys are absolutely phenomenal, and I genuinely cannot thank you all enough for the support. Blue Protocol Star Residence is currently holding a beta test. I've had a lot of fun in it. It's definitely not going to be for everyone. That's totally fine. In the grand scheme of things, this is very similar to the original Japanese version. It is cross-platform compatible with mobile. You can pre-register right now if you're interested in receiving some sweet goodies when the game ultimately launches. Honestly, I think this game is going to do well. It's not going to break any records. It's not going to redefine the genre, but I think it's going to do pretty well. We're starved for anime MMOs, and ultimately this right here is going to provide us an anime MMO that we've been looking forward to, that we've been waiting for, we've been anticipating, because we're so thirsty for one, hungry for one, with beautiful graphics that isn't really plagued by horrific pay to win, that has a lot of content, an enormous open world to explore. Just it's generally fun and enjoyable. Swords of Legends, the original Swords of Legends Online that shut down, is coming back, but in a different way. Instead, this game is releasing for consoles and for PC. It's also not going to be an MMO. And man, does this game look freaking good. I have a dedicated video on this, and I strongly urge you, this right here is taken from in-game. This right here. How freaking insane does that look? Right here is another image taken in-game. I mean, dude, holy fuck, this looks insane. Go check my video. If you like wuxia games, if you like wuxia MMOs, you like action, this right here, this requires your attention. Aion 2 revealed full gameplay after 8 years. After 8 entire years of their initial announcement, they decided they were going to release full gameplay. And honestly, it looks pretty decent. Nothing groundbreaking, nothing incredible. They did say there's going to be no pay to win. This is not going to be mobile trash. There's going to be no tab target. They said they're going to remove the restrictions from flying, but I can see there's a stamina bar there. I actually didn't see that when I first did my reaction, but they've stated there's going to be no stamina inhibiting you. So I don't know. I don't know why that's there. I genuinely don't, but this could be a lot of fun. And then finally, Ragnarok Online 3 is apparently coming back, a more polished version while trying to maintain the authenticity of the original. This is going to be releasing in 2026. This is not a crappy mobile port. This is one of those really cheap mobile versions of the game that are just ultimately a piece of shit. This is supposedly going to be a full PC MMO that has a form of mobile functionality added on after the fact. Whether that remains to be seen is completely unknown, but I'm all for it, because why the hell not, right? And that is everything that happened in the MMO genre over the course of the last month. Well, there's probably more, but these are the things that I've been keeping up to date with that mattered to me. You're all up to date. Well, you're semi up to date. If I do this more frequently, you'll be much more up to date moving in the future, but y'all are welcome. I know you think that you just hit the end of the video, and technically, yeah, you have. And I know your first reaction is to close out of it at this juncture, but don't. No, instead, I urge you to take a moment here and click one of the videos on screen that are coming up in just a moment, so you remain up to date with everything going on in the gacha genre. Trust me, you're not going to regret doing so. Stay flaccid.